welcome to the Multiverse WWE! This is your host, Dragon Videos, and tonight we are going to go over the Helluverse. In this corner, you have three little imps, short in stature, but filled with attitude, as well as accompanied by a tall hellhound and a very gorgeous Grecian prince. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you IMP. And in this corner, exiled from heaven, these three little doves are going to raise hell, and boy, are they out for revenge. Give it up for CHERUB! So I'm going to go over some of the dynamics in the IMP and CHERUB group. With this group, I'm just going to discuss the parallel between them, even though they're not only just polar opposites in where they came from, but also in how they handle each other and their situations. I feel like it's going to best explain it through each of the teammates as well as how they handle things as a whole. And of course, it may also show an impact in terms of what to expect in future episodes of Helluva Boss. Be warned again that there can be some spoilers. Without further ado, let's begin to rumble! I feel like it's best to talk about the leaders of each of the teams and their parallel. So, with Blitz, he comes off as a bit of a what-note jerk at the beginning of the series. We don't know why exactly at first, of why Moxie hangs around with him, why he babies Luna, and of course how Millie could have gotten involved, though I'm pretty sure we might learn a bit more about her past in the second half of season 2. Anyway, with Blitz, he came off again as a one-note jerk, being mean to everyone and verbally abusive. But the more you learn about his past, the more you begin to feel sorry for the guy and the unquestionable and unheard of relationships we've yet to explore. He definitely knows how to handle the situations. When he knows when something is bad, he practically does a bailout and wants them to leave immediately. He does try to put everyone's consideration in terms of a team. Like with Moxie, I know it's probably the gray area between their relationship because he does pick on Moxie and verbally abuse him, as I said before, but not to the point where he makes fun of Moxie being bi or even going as far as giving him a hard time over morality. I mean, true, he did that in Murder Family, but he wasn't that harsh when it came to Moxie's dad. And also, we learn that he cares for Luna and just wants her to feel accepted because he sees a bit of himself in her. As for Cletus, I know we are only 2 episodes in, but he definitely seems to be of a poor leader. I mean, granted, he does throw an air of caution to what they're doing because, one, they're in very unknown territory, and of course, they're in the lust ring, where anything can happen if they were revealed to be angels to the local demons. So, yeah, he knows that they gotta be playing it safe, otherwise, they'd be risking a huge mission. However, his drive for revenge can cloud some of his judgment, and he has a tendency of justifying almost everything, up to the point where you question if whether or not he legit cares for anyone. Especially when it comes to some of his teammates and their well-being too. He never even asks if they're okay. He drags them to the portal, but he never considers their feelings about it, or even talks to Colin, who I will talk later on about. Cletus definitely is a bit of a poor leader in terms of when to act. I mean, there were plenty of times where he could have acted with just amount of ease, and nobody would be none the wiser. And of course, he seems to be too observant for his own good. So, Kini versus Moxie. These two are definitely polar opposites in more ways than one. While Keeney appears to be nice, cheerful, and bright, especially with her girly appearance, she definitely becomes very mean and vile in terms of the episode 8 of Full Moon. She practically slaps poor Colin silly, even going as far as practically saying swear words and, like Cletus, justifying their actions. So, yeah. And of course, she tries to mimic Moxie's fighting style, but there ain't no way she's going to even try. Millie, it may be bloodthirsty, but she has more respect. She backs up Moxie whenever possible, as well as making sure that everyone is safe. So, point one for Millie. I'd say for Moxie versus Colin, it's a tie. Mostly because these two are just nice. They're just in two different locations. With Moxie, his life has been a bit of a tragedy, living under his boss of a father, as well as taking on his abuse. And on top of that, you have a boss like Blitz who tries everything in his power to make sure you improve. And in a lot of ways, Moxie really has improved since season 1 of the episodes. It's not perfect, but Moxie does focus on his morals and what needs to be done, even if it means raising his voice against his boss. Colin, on the other hand, he seems to be struggling with that. He's Heaven's version of Moxie, and as far as in terms of his own morality, he's struggling when it will be the appropriate time to kill or not, which results in him having a major ethical crisis. And of course, he has struggles of being a bit more firm with his teammates than Moxie does. So I guess, even though it's a draw, I'd give a point to Moxie. And the winner of the Multiverse WWE is IMP. Despite of how they look on the surface, these two definitely have a more functionality to them compared to that of Cherub. IMP at least tries to take in considerations of their situation, but not only in terms of being cautious, but in terms of when to take action as when necessary, and recognizing when the situation is very, very bad. While with Cherub, they definitely seem way out of their element. Everything seems too convenient for them, and they seem to have done their job through sheer luck alone. And they don't seem to have very strong sense of combat skills when it comes to fighting IMP. Though I'm pretty sure with the Doric agents at their side, it might result into some major chaos later on in the season 2. However, it still doesn't change the fact that Blitz cares about his teammates even more than we give him credit for, and he will do everything in his power to protect them, compared to how Cherub seem to care more about their goals, more about than their each other's well-being, as well as considering the fact that Colin doesn't get the recognition that he deserves among his peers, being manipulated by his so-called friends. So, yeah, I only wish for the best for Colin. So, what do you guys think? Is there anything else in the parallel that I may be missing? And thank you for tuning in on WWE. Do a like and subscribe. This is Dragon Videos wishing y'all good night.